What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your boy Domuto. We are back with another video today. We're watching CallMeARJ. Ultra Vegeta meets the Grand Priest final form. Okay. We left off with him transforming. We're about to see how strong he is, man. We're about to see how strong the Grand Priest is, man. We will see what can Vegeta do about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to get into it. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and let's go.
Saiyan! So our story continues with Vegito and Vegeta both standing on a vast, barren wasteland, face to face with Dai's final form. The stark contrast between the desolation and the bright shining lights of the three warriors creating an intense atmosphere. But as Vegito would contemplate on the final words of Vegeta, or should we say Lucif, from last chapter, he would look to the prince and question, "What was that you just said, Vegeta? Since when do you call us that? Who are you?" To which the red demon-eyed prince would just reply back ominously, "Who do you think I am?
Who do you think you are?"
But even with Vegeta's signature insult said, as the prince would power up, the darkness and intensity of his energy would make clear who he really was.
Oh, shit.
As behind him, an image of Lucif himself, laughing maniacally, would be visible to Vegito and Vegito only. Damn you! Triggering the God Killer as the wind from Vegeta's power-up pushes against him and he begins to realize the Grand Priest may no longer be the only problem on the battlefield. As he would say to himself, "I knew this would happen. With the mental fortitude of just one mind, Vegeta won't be enough to hold back Lucif's will.
Most definitely.
This is no bobbity. This is the devil himself. Vegeta, get a hold of yourself." But just as Vegito would hope for some control over the situation, the prince would begin bringing instability yet again, firing off in the direction of Dai and his new form with pure confidence.
We going at him.
Vegeta! Stunning the God Killer as he would bleed. "Wait! We're supposed to do this together!" But still, moving ahead with an angered look, Lucif, speaking through Vegeta, would just yell back, "Wait! I've been waiting for millennia to kill this brat!" All this while, Dai would not be noticing either demon, just looking into the palm of his hand, opening and closing it slowly, as he gets used to his all-new level of power and considerably taller stature.
Oh, shit.
And with so much speed and velocity, Vegeta would almost appear like a blur. The prince would take his opportunity to appear directly behind the seemingly still preoccupied priest. Punching through the circular ring, floating behind Dai, and ultimately landing straight on with a loud impact on the back of the priest's head.
Damn.
But when we look at the panel, it would not seem like much, if
You didn't even
any
feel that,
reaction would be elicited from the divine, one true angel. What? Shocking Vegeta,
feel
as
that,
he
huh?
too soon realizes this, as Dai himself would still refrain to even give him a look, let alone react physically to his attacks. The priest still, self-indulged, looking into his hands, would then just let out, "It truly has been such a long time since I let loose this form. It will take a moment to get used to this, but safe to say, I am far stronger now than even back then, brother.
Oh shit.
And in response, Vegeta would soon quickly rotate, gathering momentum before slamming his leg into the neck this time, hoping to make Dai finally notice him. Impossible! Dai, how strong have you become?
Very strong.
Stunning what appears to be Lucif this time, as he refers to the priest by name, and watches on yet again as the
He gonna need to
angel would
absorb
not
Goku
budge
Vegeta
an
back to
inch.
beat this nigga. Look like it.
But perhaps in consolation at least, Dai for the first time now would turn to Vegeta, responding to his brother directly as he would say, "Stronger than you could ever be, Lucif.
Oh shit.
Does this form not bring back memories? Memories
bring
of
back
the
something,
last
right?
time I sealed you back away. Tremble in fear, you old fool."
And then he call you an old bitch.
My body! As with a piercing glare from Dai's completed seraphim eyes, Vegeta would find his body trembling, but not from fear, but from his struggling to move as his body inexplicably becomes paralyzed under just the pressure exerted from the priest, until... as if hit by an invisible energy attack, Vegeta would face a harsh explosion to the backside, which sends his body flying forward. All the while, the priest would just observe with an unbothered side-eye. Vegeta! Causing the God Killer to yell out in concern, unfamiliar just yet with just how powerful Dai has now become. This is why I told you to wait, brat!
Oh shit.
Now angering and frustrating Vegeta, as flexing his muscles and increasing his power level now, with black lightning beginning to spontaneously appear, the God Killer would grumble out, "Looks like this was all up to me anyway. I can at least rest easy. With that level of power, Vegeta won't be taken over by Lucif like I am. One Lucif time bomb is more than enough."
Damn.
But as Vegeta would be powering up, readying himself to inevitably intervene, the Saiyan Prince would not be done. Struggling up onto his hands and knees while huffing and puffing, his head would be ducked down into the shadows as he would say,
I need a haircut.
"Old fool! I think it may be you who has forgotten some memories, Dai. Memories of why you and the gods so feared me!" As suddenly yelling and overflowing with power, the Lucif-controlled Vegeta would lift his head only to reveal a third demon eye now activated on his forehead, just like Vegito. As he would yell, "You've shown your final hand, but don't forget, I have not even begun to show mine!"
Okay.
Stopping the God Killer's power up in its tracks, as now frozen himself, he would react. "No! He's being taken over even faster than I was! And his power, it's increasing rapidly! This is barely even Vegeta's energy anymore!
Oh,
I need to... What? But before any more could be said, Vegeta would already be back
Vegeta, help
on
that
the
nigga
hunt,
out.
shooting rapidly towards Dai, now several times faster and stronger than before.
Try and stay still this time, little brother!
screaming with intensity, with all three demon eyes widen as he continues forward. Annoying Vegito, as now accepting he must fight along Lucif himself, he lets out,
Whatever. There isn't even any time to think now. At the very least, he's on my side anyway. Die! This is it for you!
and joining the other demonic Saiyan, the God Killer would now make his move too. Both Lucif-infused warriors now shooting down the runway of the battlefield, all towards the gigantesque statue that stands at the end as Dai, who invites them without a hint of movement himself.
That nigga not even moving, bruh. That nigga not even moving.
And indeed, as Vegeta would rush forward with his first attack, the priest would appear largely unfazed, those benevolent eyes which always stare back, exuding an aura of indifference, reminiscent of their past clashes.
Okay.
But this moment feels different. The atmosphere shifts subtly. The priest, possibly sensing the sheer magnitude of Vegeta's newfound strength, effortlessly halts the punch with just his hand.
That nigga different.
This immediately getting a reaction of a smirk on the face of the demonic prince. His teeth bared in delight, he would not be able to hold back.
Oh, so now you want to block, do you? Excellent. It's comforting to know you recognize the danger you're in, Dai. Even with this imperfect vessel, draining only fractions of my immense power. Remember this. You'll always linger in my shadow.
Really?
Electricity would then crackle in the air. The transformation of the Seraphim Angel manifesting in Dai, who, unable to restrain himself, would grit his teeth and respond, Shadow? What sort of shadow does someone cast who's a total disgrace to all of angel kind? Mother might be blind to your malevolence, but I've always seen right through you. Lucif, you're as misguided about your power as these mortals are about ever overcoming gods like us. A tense pause would then ensue as the two powerhouses lock eyes, each trying to gauge each other's next move. Their fierce deadlock seeming to freeze time, but during this brief moment of stasis, it becomes glaringly obvious that the formidable God Killer Vegito is missing, with Dai momentarily distracted, murmuring, Speaking of mortals, where is... But before he can finish, a looming figure would cast its shadow from above. Descending at an almost inconceivable speed, the dark, muscular silhouette with a long blade grabs the spotlight.
Hold still! Now this is true teamwork!
It is, of course, unmistakably Vegito, laughing with wicked delight as he brandishes a Godslayer scythe fusion in his hand. Its design suggesting the influence of none other than Goku Black.
Not Big Black.
To which Dai can only stare in disbelief for a moment back and mutter, just as I thought, deluded. But Vegeta, brimming with confidence, retorts with a mischievous grin. I wouldn't jump to conclusions, Dai. The earth would then quake and tremble as Vegito's scythe slices into the ground as if it were mere paper. creating unparalleled devastation, sending debris everywhere.
Everywhere.
And in the face of the imminent danger though, the two brothers would manage to separate just in time. Dai, as he adeptly dodges the rising destruction, would comment, "It appears that mortal harnesses a significant portion of your power too. I'm curious, is your essence equally divided between these two Saiyans?" But with a smirk stretching wide, Lucif Vegeta would just answer, already anticipating the next phase of their epic battle, saying,
If only you knew the secret, dear younger brother. But worry not, you're about to discover.
A fierce sound would then echo through the vast battleground, as the warriors would skid backwards, leaving a trail of dirt beneath, their feet stirring up clouds of dust as they tried to control the momentum using the friction of the ground alone.
Wakey, wakey!
But before Dai could even process the situation, Vegeta, relentless in his assault, would materialize behind Dai with an uncanny, instantaneous speed that betrayed the laws of physics.
Yes, sir.
It wouldn't be long before, though, his eyes filled with mischief extend an arm of exaggerated size, eerily similar to how Vegito's
That nigga
once
died too
appeared,
strong, bro.
his aim clear, to overpower the priest once more. His grin spread from ear to ear, showcasing his confidence. But Dai, anticipating the move, manages to deflect it in perfect timing. However, in the very next moment, with his other hand free, Dai would start forming an orb of luminescent white energy
what the
right
fuck
at his
is that?
fingertips. His gaze unwavering, he would turn to his brother and remark, "Such dark, impure material
Oh shit.
should not dare to make contact with skin as divine as mine!"
Racist. Racist. What
Vegeta,
the fuck?
now under Lucif's control, would stare back, puzzled, the glowing energy intriguing him,
Am I going bald?
evoking a familiar
Like,
sensation from the past, as he would think,
That energy, could it be?
It could.
Might!
That smite.
until without warning, Dai would unleash the energy, shooting through the air, piercing straight through Vegeta's arm. And like a hot
Vegeta.
knife through butter, it would cause his limb to grotesquely disintegrate, almost reminiscent of a firework.
Damn you!
Causing the prince to cry out in agony,
He got on your ass,
instantly
boy.
recoiling as his face would contort from the sheer pain.
Contort.
A vivid image of his arm turning into a slimy mess before our
Got you
eyes.
dripping, boy.
As it happens, a memory would flash in his mind of another Saiyan who'd suffered a similar fate.
Ouch!
The familiar Saiyan, of course, being the God Killer Vegito, who lightheartedly adds to Vegeta's misery, wearing a cheeky grin and continuing,
You too, huh? It burns, doesn't it? Don't worry, you'll get used to it.
but their banter would be short-lived.
Oh shit.
As suddenly,
this nigga
the
getting crazy.
atmosphere would
He's
shift,
getting crazy.
and Dai's chilling presence would materialize right before the God Killer, behind him saying, "This is hardly the time for jokes, God Killer.
I mean,
Perhaps
he is
you
right.
have forgotten the caliber of the opponent you face."
Like, who you?
But despite this, though Vegito would be shocked, it may not be Dai's presence that is actually causing it.
What? Vegeta!
as the horizon would suddenly light up. Both Dai and Vegito squinted against the blinding light, their expressions mirroring each other's shock. As shockingly in front
What
of
is
them,
Vegeta doing?
a colossal ball of intense black and red energy would be careering towards them,
Damn.
consuming everything in its path. Ultimately climaxing
Okay,
in an
killing you both.
unbelievable explosion.
You know.
So powerful that it would be felt miles away. Rupturing the landscape, energy would spiral towards the heavens, swallowing both Vegito and Dai in its fury. All the while, a dark silhouette would stand at a distance, seemingly being the perpetrator.
No! This is what I call teamwork, Vegito!
Revealed with his arm now resembling a cannon, Vegeta, smirking wickedly, having managed to target both his opponent and ally, remarking distastefully,
Come out, little brother! That attack might not have felled the God Killer, but I bet it stung you more than just a little bit!
and as if heeding his brother's demands, Dai, seemingly untouched, appears from the cloud of smoke. Vegito's presence still nowhere in sight. But anger would be evident on Dai's face, his disgust at Vegeta's treachery clear, as he would then say, Your depths of depravity astonish even me, Lucif. These mere mortals were foolish to have ever placed their trust in you.
You on your ass.
So I will save them from their naivety by destroying you here and now!
As taking on the role of some sort of savior, Dai would then rush forward towards Vegeta with unfathomable speed, rage, and conviction, turning into bright white energy as he does so, much like when he transformed.
Oh shit.
Until, with a gigantic roar, Dai would cease to even be humanoid in appearance anymore, turning into some form of divine beast that moves forward at crazy speed to devour Vegeta in one fell swoop.
What the hell is that?
Leaving the prince's voice to echo with genuine shock, his eyes widening as Dai's energy beast, a swirling amorphous creature of pure fury, would charge directly at him. And in response, Lucif would cry out. His arms, bearing the marks of previous battles, would clash with a force that sent ripples throughout their surroundings.
Damn.
They would twist and contort, melding together in a chaotic ballet of flesh and power until...
Try me now, Dai!
Suddenly, from the entwined chaos of his limbs, a makeshift shield would materialize. This barrier, dense and seemingly impervious, would be marked with 4 menacing horns, casting foreboding shadows in the dimming light. Vegeta, ever the warrior, would respond by grounding himself, every fiber of his being prepared for the onslaught to come. The world around them would seem to hold its breath. Dai's form, more energy than matter, would surge forward, its speed making it appear as a mere blur against the backdrop of the battlefield. And
Damn.
as it would approach Vegeta, its vastness
Vegeta, you might
would
get cooked.
overshadow the Saiyan Prince, an intimidating contrast that painted a picture of impending doom.
Wait a second! Dai! What is this power?
I mean, you've been trying to hit him for like the past 5 minutes, nigga. You ain't.
They would have little effect, as just as the words would leave his lips, the inevitable would transpire. The demonic prince's crafted shield, despite its formidable facade, would falter beneath the relentless force of the beast, and Lucif's visage would be lost, consumed in a cascade of blinding brilliance.
Damn.
Ultimately resulting in a gigantic explosion that would resonate across the vast horizon. The resultant explosion would birth a breathtaking display of cyan and white luminescence,
Vegeta cooked, buddy.
illuminating the battlefield as far as the eyes could witness. This radiant burst would seem almost ethereal, casting an eerie glow on the charred ground and smoke-filled air, until finally leaving behind trails of smoke winding their way skyward and signs of devastation marking the once vibrant battlefield. A chilling emptiness would be felt as the Saiyan warrior's presence would be conspicuously missing.
Die!
Until, with an exhausted and pain-stricken grunt of rage, a voice would pierce through the thickening smog. Emerging from this haze, the prince would appear once again, a sorry sight to behold. His physical state would be alarming, both arms gruesomely obliterated, leaving behind only raw shoulders from which a vile cocktail of pitch-black goo and dark crimson blood would drip. Amidst his suffering, Vegeta's voice, weak and raspy, would then be heard.
Some help from that Vegito brat would be good right about now. Where the hell is he?
Don't beg for help now.
Oh shit, he on your
I
ass.
thought
Vegeta.
it was I who was in your shadow, not the other way around. As suddenly, behind Vegeta, Dai would reappear once more, now back in his normal form and without a scratch on him. Moments would be fleeting, however, for without hesitation, a swift elbow strike would connect with the demon warrior's visage, the sheer force warping and indenting his cheek. His head would violently snap to the side, and his body, propelled by the impact, hurtling through the air before crashing to the ground, skidding gracelessly across the rough terrain. While Dai, regaining his poise, with his back turned, would scoff. Now stay down, while I deal with your other half. But all eyes would soon be diverted upwards. The heavens above would bear witness to an ominous spectacle. A silhouette against the darkening sky, amassing an enormous sphere of pulsating energy.
Stalled him just enough to complete this. Well done, Vegeta!
As Vegito would then be revealed, draped in black lightning, as above him, a powerful concentrated ball of black energy would form and continue to grow, reminiscent of a spirit bomb, but far more demonic in nature.
Okay.
Now say goodbye to you, Zeno, and this entire Forsaken realm!
As madly grinning like a beast, Vegito would reveal this all-powerful attack would be enough to eviscerate everything below. And with him so far in the sky, he would be ready to launch it until a wave of shock would overflow through the God Killer. Something unexpected had just happened, and it would be causing Vegito's entire facial expression to change rapidly.
How?
as with a speed that defied comprehension, Dai would be revealed to have already made his move, delivering a precise and brutal blow to Vegito's solar plexus, effectively winding him there and then.
That speed! That's impossible!
Vegito's outcry would reverberate, mirroring the shocked painted on his face, recoiling in evident agony as he would clutch his wounded torso. Each stagger backward, a testament to the searing pain he felt.
So much
Since when did
pain.
mortals begin thinking anything was impossible for a god? Causing Dai to interject coldly, his disdain palpable. As he voices this biting retort, his gaze, distant yet focused, would lock onto the colossal energy sphere hovering ominously above. As in a surprising sight, the menacing energy ball would start to mystifyingly shift in trajectory, now moving inexorably towards Dai.
He absorbed that bitch.
Culminating unbelievably with Dai watching as the energy, a confluence of darkness and power, stream directly into the cyan diamond on his forehead. It would be absorbed seamlessly, as if the symbol were a portal, leaving behind an eerie void. How disgusting! As letting out a strange outburst,
Okay.
as the last of the energy seeping into his forehead, the one true angel would appear. His laughter unnerving, and his feathery arms spread out wide, framing a face with eyes devoid of emotion, akin to a lost soul in a daze. It would be then that Dai, amidst this unsettling laughter, would announce, "The energy of the devil began as an angel, and back to an angel it shall return!"
Alright.
What the?
Soon causing Vegito's exclamation to rupture the air, a blend of disbelief and anxiety, as before him, Dai's body would begin to turn into a mass of light.
What's he doing this time? Self-destruction?
Causing Vegito to ponder aloud, his voice betraying his inner turmoil. In this pivotal moment, he'd grapple internally, torn between caution
Why would he
and
self-destruct?
action. However, on the ground below, a contrasting sentiment would manifest. The prince, though distant, would watch with a hardened gaze. His teeth gritted in vexation, he'd mutter to himself,
This is getting us nowhere! Now Dai can absorb my energy? Since when? If energy attacks are risky now, then...
Yep.
Abruptly, the prince's forehead would become the epicenter of a gruesome spectacle, as a twisted demon horn would rupture
What
forth,
the hell?
its emergence akin to a beast breaking free from chains.
I was starting to miss thee!
And just like that, Lucif Vegeta's voice would be laced with a malevolent glee.
Shit.
Now standing with renewed vigor, his jet black arms restored, a wicked grin would carve his features. As with a tone dripping with menace, he'd then say,
That ego of yours has gotten way out of hand while I was away. It's about time, I think, that I cut you back down to
Oh, you think you can match with him?
Then I know just the way to do it.
Do it then, nigga.
And with a devious grin, tinged with a mix of playfulness and resolve, Vegeta would then slowly fix his gaze on the dark horn extending from his forehead, a symbol of power and past battles, steadying himself as he grips it firmly, the weight of his decision evident in his hold until... A raw shout erupts from him as he exerts all his might to free the horn from its rooted position. The sound is a fusion of pain, effort, and determination.
Yeah, what the hell?
And in the quiet aftermath of this act, a trail of blood paints its path down his face, where the horn once was. Now in his grasp, the once horn reveals a long, sharp blade. The weapon gleams, its edges sharp, ready for the challenge that awaits. And in a flash,
You got like
Vegeta
a big ass
would
power
fire
boost? What the hell just
upwards,
happened?
flying at top speeds towards Vegito and Dai, who would remain interlocked in their interaction.
Vegeta!
Eventually reaching straight above the duo, sword in hand, as if cosplaying his younger son, while the God Killer watches on in surprise. But as he would swing down his newly generated powerful blade, it would ultimately just miss with ease, with Vegito noticing first, up close, muttering,
No!
"What a pitiful attempt at recourse. Smite!"
What?
And with just that final
That's your
word
plan, nigga?
said, the entire demonic blade would erase from existence before the eyes of both Vegeta and Vegito.
That easily! He got rid of Lucif's blade! That easily!
Of loose
Leaving
that
the prince stunned, as it soon begins to become apparent just how outclassed the two Saiyans still are compared to the one true angel.
That's a true angel right there.
And as they would realize, Dai would not be finished, quickly swinging his arms together in a cross position before... With a loud yell screaming from his lungs, the cyan diamond symbol on his chest would begin to violently pulse until... And with an enormous blast out of nowhere, Dai, taking his opportunity with the duo together, would fire at point-blank range. Stunning both as they remain paralyzed in fear, with only moments to react before... In a catastrophic explosion, both would be caught in the immense detonation that would follow.
Damn.
In the end, leaving behind a plume of dark-colored smoke and dust, with two shadowy figures beginning to emerge.
Sure, them niggas ain't.
Their groans eventually becoming clear, as both damaged but miraculously still in one piece, Vegeta and the God Killer would appear.
Okay.
This is getting us nowhere, clown! We need to do something, and something fast, if we are to win this!
But the frustration would soon come clear on the prince's face, as he would lift his fist in anger. But Vegito, seeming more calmer of the two, would just look back and say,
Who is it that I'm even talking to right now? Lucif or Vegeta? In either case, what is it you suggest, huh?
But just as Vegito would ask, something would snap within the prince once more. As suddenly feeling a searing pain within his mind, Vegito would collapse his body as he grabs onto his skull, trying to fight back his inner demons.
Vegeta! Not this again! Get a hold of yourself! Don't let Lucif overtake you!
Stopping the prince momentarily as he begins to mutter,
Get a hold! Lucif! Get a hold of what, Saiyan?
but not before the devil himself would interrupt with an angry yell from inside the prince's mind, as he would continue,
Prince, why are you surprised you aren't winning? You really think you can do this with the help of that weakling over there? All he is half your potential. The rest is that low-class clown.
Oh, he in your head.
You know, you're the strongest Saiyan here. A Saiyan elite. Why even worry about the others when you, and you alone, can unleash my full power and finish this war? You alone can bring everyone back and be the hero. The hero? Bring them back.
As contemplating on these words, Vegeta would find himself beginning to be manipulated, as thoughts
you know
and
damn well you can't whoop that
imagery
nigga
of
ass.
his late wife and children would pass through his mind until... In a monstrous roar, Vegeta would unleash all that was trapped within him. A huge aura flowing all around him, as just like with Vegito, the blackness within his arms would begin to spread, but far more rapidly than with the God Killer, as Vegeta's hair too would grow out wilder, and on his chest that becomes even more overgrown with darkness, a violent, glowing red circle would begin to engrave on his chest too.
I'm almost there. I'm almost back. Die.
As now going even further than Vegito,
Yeah,
the
I
prince
see that.
would
Vegeta?
access an
Vegeta?
untold amount more of Lucif's power, as
Damn.
his entire torso would now become blackened, his hair blood red and significantly longer wading through the air, and red flames
That nigga started lying to
begin
Vegeta's
combust
soul.
all around him in yet
Shit
another
that triggers him.
devil transformation.
No!
Now you gotta handle that.
Triggering fear within the God Killer immediately, as he knows all too well what this all means. As he would think,
Vegeta! You damn fool! You're dooming us all!
but meanwhile, elsewhere,
Goku's still fighting these
GT would continue to pummel the tenacious Goku, punching him across the face, sending his body flying off across the battlefield. Eventually regaining himself briefly, only to suddenly realize what was happening with the rest of his comrades, as he would just mutter,
Vegeta! Your energy, it's gone up again! You're leaving me behind even further. And that energy, it doesn't feel right. I have to do something! But of course, whatever thoughts Goku would be having would mean nothing to GT, who would be soaring down rapidly, ready to stamp down on Goku. But as he would do so, Goku, seemingly perfectly without budging an inch on impact, would block the attack, still in its tracks. As revealed underneath the foot, the cold stare of a finally ascended Goku would be visible. A cyan symbol now on his forehead, just like the priest and GT. Just how much further will Son Goku go? And will he defeat the Roll Commander in time to save Vegeta?
Fire chapter, fire chapter, man. Shout out to CallMeARJ. I love the ending of this story, of this chapter right here. This is fire. Vegeta, you know, Lucif pulled out the heartstrings of Vegeta, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, Vegeta's gonna let that shit happen. You know that. But, and then Goku, we're gonna see what Goku can be GT, you know, and I'm just ready. I'm ready for the next chapter, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you feel about it down below. And shoot, check out the last chapter right here. Check out another video you might like right here. And, you know, I'll catch y'all next time, man. Peace.